Good day, ladies and gentlemen of Generation Yes, Business Edition. So today, here we are again with a new episode. Yep, and our guest today, it's very, very interesting. I believe we'll learn a lot from her. This is actually one guest that I think I won't do her bio a very huge justice. For me, she's a strategic leader. She is an activist and an advocate for women and youth life and growth in the workplace or the work life, right? We have today Annabahati Mlay, who is a co-founder and the founder of so many institutions, a board member, I believe, of Legal and Human Rights Center, and so many other things. So, Annabahati, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. We know you're very busy.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you to get some time today to talk to our community. So we have a community here that we call Generation Yes. It is filled with a lot of young, old people. But mainly today we're talking to business leaders of established SMEs or startups as well. And we believe you have a lot of knowledge and experience, and that way they can learn a few things from you. Now, where is a good place to start than you tell us a little bit about yourself so they get to understand who we're talking to today?
Thank you so much, Norman, for having me. And I am glad to be speaking or having a discussion with Generation Yes. As you mentioned, my name is Annabahati Mlay. I work as the country manager for Gresham Marshall Trust, leading our Women Creating Wealth program. But I've been working in the development sector for a while now. My job being at the intersection of gender equality, social justice, women inclusion in the world of work, and now women inclusion in economic advancement. So I have been working around those areas just to make sure that women and youth are getting the opportunities they deserve to progress and build a successful community.
Now, good. So where did all of this started? Where did you grow up? A little bit of your background.
Okay, my earliest days were spent by the riverside in Moshi. I was born and spent my early days in Moshi. I went to school in Kilimanjaro for primary school, then I went to Singida. I am one of those girls who have been raised by nuns. And then I went to the university in St. Augustine, and so I have been here most of the time. And working, I started here. Like many young people, I was one of those people who didn't really know if I wanted to practice law in the way that it was thought to be practiced, that was working in a law firm or becoming a magistrate, because I thought I could achieve I could achieve the vision I had as a lawyer through other platforms as well. So I went I did study law, but I worked most in NGOs, in non-governmental organizations that helped me achieve the same results, but in a different way as a lawyer. So now I use law as a means of achieving social justice, for advocacy, access to finance, and other areas such as elimination of gender-based violence in the world of work and things like that.
Interesting. So for all this journey, from Moshi to Singida to St. Augustine, if we talk to a few people who went to these different level of schools with you, do you think people had a picture of who you will become today? What are some of the traits that you had then which still probably defines you up to now?
I think to a large extent, yes, because I carry the same values I carried as a young girl. I still speak of the same things. I still value the same things, such as community, such as equity. For people who went with me to primary school, they remember me always saying, no, you can't do this to that girl. Why are you doing this to that boy? It's not fair. It's not right. For those who went to me in secondary school, whenever we meet, it's along the same thing. I remember when you did this. Remember when you do that. And the values are still the same throughout. So I think, and for me, that's the most important thing, that I carry the same values. They might change here and there in a way of how I represent them or how I manifest them, but it's the same little girl that grew by the riverside.
Oh, nice. Very, very interesting. And so today, a lot of things that you're doing around women and youth, is this something that you knew earlier, or just because you started working with NGOs and these are the things that pushing you, you get to learn it from there?
No, I think I knew from a very early age. It's something that I wanted to do. So my choices were informed by what I had wanted to do. I had envisioned for myself. So the organizations I work with is very intentional. If you see the boards I sit on, it's very intentional. I look at places where I can bring that, places where I can actually achieve the same results. So I am always trying to find places that embrace equity, places that embrace social justice, places that embrace women, places that embrace youth. And they are also intentional about it, because it's not just about saying that we are for youth and for women. It has to be from a designed place, because people are intentional about it. Yeah.
And why youth and women?
So I think for me, it actually started with women and children. It didn't start with women and youth, I think. And it's because from when I was growing up, I grew up with my aunt who was a teacher. And one of the things she was very good at was bringing together women and children to our house to support them with so many other things, from, you know, basic education, how to make clothing, how to do make mandazis, you know, those basic skills, to speaking to the young kids, me included, about things such as your personal hygiene, your safety, your values. So that's where I actually pick it from. It was from my aunt who was a teacher. And without knowing, she was actually inspiring me to do more of that, because now at certain times I was forced, it wasn't by choice, to teach these young kids some extra lessons for free, of course, and things like that. I was forced to give, I was forced to volunteer for women that were going through things. I was forced to support. Our house was always open for everyone. So it just infused in me that this is a good thing to do. So I think that's how it all started. And then when I started working with, not just even before Ate, there was a time I was working in recruitment and event management. And that's when I realized there's a huge potential with the youth we have, but there's also a lot of missing links. And when I was doing recruitments, because I was helping to, you know, do the screening. Back then it wasn't like now, when there's so many apps that do all. Yes. Yeah. Back then you had to read through the CVs, you had to call people, arrange the interviews, and then the people came to the interviews and we felt like, I wish they knew better. I wish they had better. I wish they were better prepared. So I think that's when I started thinking of youth from a different place. So it has been a journey, but again, I think for me it's more of the destination. You know, sometimes you take a detour here and there, but I feel like I'm still going towards the same destiny.
Okay. So I think for many of us, something like career, you know, is something that we start to try first and then come to figure out at some point. What was the time where you knew, you know, for real, this is it for me?
So when I finished university, I didn't start working straight away. I am one of those people who try different things. I did event management, I was doing this and that. And I thank God that I had an opportunity to experiment. I at one point, I supported to manage a college. At one point, I was a HR at one of the, back then it was a very famous high-end restaurant and bar. So I tried so many other things, but I remember one time I was an event manager and I took a proposal that I wanted us to do a working mothers exhibition and conference. And they said, no, we can't do this. I said, I want to do it. They said, why? I said, because I think working mothers need it. And I remember how much I put up a fight. And I said, you know what, if you're not going to have it, I'm not going to be working with you, because you don't really care about working mothers. And I think it was a time that I was also becoming a mother, and I was seeing all that was happening with me, and I felt like even other mothers needed it. So why am I telling you this? It's because at that point I realized this is where I really want to focus on. And I think after that, the next job I took was the Female Future program, because I felt like it was more aligned with what I wanted to achieve. So again, I think there's the traditional career pathways where, and for us millennials, or for us who are a bit older, our parents were very intention about charting those pathways, that you have to become a lawyer, and a lawyer is like this. You have to become a doctor, and the doctor goes through these pathways. But I think we are also living in a time that there are so many other options that you can take. There are so many pathways you can take, as long as you know what you want to achieve.
No, it's very good and very interesting actually listening to this story, because one thing that I'm actually picking is all this came from the challenges that you yourself faced, also hands-on the paper first, and then you felt like this is what is going to be it for me. And I think that's very good, actually a very, very good lesson. And I think later, as we continue to deep dive to understand SMEs and women-led businesses and what they can do to strive, I think spotting where a challenge is and making it an opportunity, I believe those are some of the areas where some of our listeners can listen, can understand and get something from. Now from all this journey, school to start a few informal jobs here and there, and then starting with the Female Future program at what exactly are you doing now? Because I'm seeing a lot of things.
So now I work, or I serve women entrepreneurs through the Women Creating Wealth program. This is a flagship entrepreneurship program under the Gracia Machel Trust. It's a Pan-African organization. So the program is also Pan-African. It's in Tanzania, in Senegal, in Malawi, in Zambia, in South Africa, in Uganda. And we have truly been intentional, because this program started in 2016. We have had different partners coming in the program, but now our key partner is the MasterCard Foundation. And when you look at what we do, is we are actually reflecting the values we hold as an organization, but the values of MasterCard Foundation, whereby we are working with women and youth entrepreneurs to support them, one, to build their confidence in what they do as business people. And this is where we really take a deep dive into personal mastery and leadership. That's where we start with our programs. But then we also look at market readiness and then financial readiness. We also do a lot of advocacy work, because we know that other things you cannot fix just by doing a good job. We have to make sure that the systems, we have to make sure that the laws, the policies are also conducive for these women and youth entrepreneurs to thrive. But another thing that we are very passionate about is creating jobs for young people. And I think the businesses we work with are aware of that. We make it from the very beginning. We try to make sure that they understand that we want your business to grow, not just because we want you to create wealth. And when you speak about wealth to us, to women, wealth is beyond the money that you get from the business. For women, wealth is about community. That's why even most women businesses struggle, because the money we get in our business has to go to fix everything in the society. So we also have a lot of interventions around wealth in form of health, wealth in form of community. So we do also community building and things around that. So that is what we do. That's what I do now.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that this is where we have landed, and we're going to take a little bit of a pause because this is where exactly our sort of a second section will start from. From women creating world to youth employment and creating jobs and employment and entrepreneurship opportunities for youth. That is exactly where we're going to pick it after. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few games here. So I'm going to let you pick one card.
Okay.
And I will pick mine as well. I will ask you a question that I have here. You give me your idea, your answers, and then you're going to ask me as well.
Okay.
So, in the work environment, the usual area that we work, what do you think are the biggest productivity killers?
The long unnecessary meetings.
Okay, yeah, long unnecessary meetings.
Yes, I think some of these meetings are truly unnecessary.
Yeah, things like let's have a Zoom call, cycle back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see my camera? Yeah, I think some of those can go. I think if we better manage the meetings, it also takes a lot of time from actual people doing actual work.
So strategize better, plan better. Let's ensure everyone knows exactly what they're doing,
Exactly.
and then let's don't have meetings. Or
Yeah.
let's minimize the number
Less
of meetings or the length of the meeting that we have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So if you swap jobs with a CEO, MD, chief for a week, whose job would you choose and why?
Interesting. So I have to take a very, very safe route with this one. Now, of course, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. So the one CEO that I'm going to swap job with is Pierre Canton Bakara, CEO of Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the person that I look up to every day, and it will be very interesting to take his office one day. And
to know what it really takes.
Yes,
to be
to not sleep and have gray hairs. But also it's very important because I think some of the things that we have spoken about is not only a company that only sells SIM cards and stand just for that. There are a lot of other things that we're also doing to empower the community. Ensuring that every day you wake up to serve more than 20 million Tanzanians with connectivity. To be able to send money to their parents, to their babies in the village, and a lot of things like this. More than 5K businesses, small or large, to just ensure that they do the operations, well, using digital means. So yeah, I won't leave a company. I'll be the CEO of this.
You'll be the CEO.
Yes.
So do we go for another one?
Okay, so a second question.
Yeah.
If your leadership style had a theme song, what would that song be?
It will be raw.
Okay, raw
Like
Katy Perry, right? Good. Okay,
Yeah.
why?
You have listened to the song. The whole idea of the song is it's something. It's a reminder that you don't just back down. You go back up. You make sure that things are getting done. Whether you're loud, you're quiet. As a leader, people should know that you're there. You're actually trying to make sure things are happening. So.
Interesting. Yeah. To you?
Oh, I have to. Okay, these are 4 questions. No, you have to choose.
Okay.
Your ideal days off look like?
My ideal day off look like?
Netflix and chill. B, gym and swimming. C, beach and solitude. D, family time.
I think maybe between C and D.
Between C and D.
Yes.
Okay.
So a little bit of beach and nature. If I can mix.
You just want to add an A to it.
Yeah, if I can mix C and D. If I can make a little bit of beach, nature, with family.
Yeah, because you can take the family to the beach.
Yes.
But there won't be solitude. At least coming from someone with daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so that was the games that we've had. Thank you so much for participating. We'll be pausing here and there, and then look what we have here. So now, if you remember, we ended at women curating world, and also creating opportunities, whether for entrepreneurship or for employment, for youth. Now I know these are the group that we've been working with a lot for the last few years, and mainly 2 years with the institution that we're working with right now. So if we speak about women and entrepreneurship, what comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind when you speak about women entrepreneurship is resilience. I think I have worked with women for a very long time, but this group of women, the entrepreneurs, are very resilient, and I always tell my peers that I wish there was a way of quantifying that into money, their resilience, because we always say that and then it ends there. But women entrepreneurs are very resilient because they are swimming against the current in so many areas, finance, markets, and then there's the family responsibility. So they are very resilient, and that's the first thing that comes into them.
So I think you've touched a little bit to it, but what are some of the common challenges that women in entrepreneurship are facing?
So one of the biggest issue that I see is access, but then I also speak of access in different areas. The very first access issue they face is access to information. And when I say information, I also want to get into timely information, getting the right information, and correct information in a way that if there's an application that I have to make, I get the information on time. If there is grant, if there is money, if there is anything, I hear the right information so that I don't get myself into some of the, what nowadays we hear a lot of women getting into all these bad investments, scams and all that. So there's a lot of information gap. The opportunities that are out there, you hear that the government is giving loans to women. There's this organization that is doing, but most women don't have the information, and when some of them have the wrong information. But then there's access to markets, and there it's also more about understanding what the market really wants and how to prepare their businesses to be able to feed these markets that are out there. And then of course there's access to finance, and it also have a lot of arms. You look at collateral, you look at another thing, information, you look at getting and it goes back to lack of information and things like that, and also access to communities as well, because most of the time when we speak about women entrepreneurs, we tend to focus on the women entrepreneurs we know and see and interact every day. But there's so many women entrepreneurs who don't have access to communities, access to to communities that actually open up the opportunities to them. So access is still a problem. It's still a problem that most entrepreneurs are facing in different areas.
And what can the like of your institution and like of my institution can do to support them? And why I'm asking this is because in the earlier part of this podcast, in the first episode, we've been lucky to unpack and understand the Tanzania Vision 2050 and a lot of requirement and expectations for us as a nation to get there. And I still believe women is still the highest portion of the population.
Slightly. Yeah.
Okay, so why I'm asking is because I believe a lot the challenges that they have, unpack some of the issues that are facing. This will really help us to drive us from one step to another. So what can we do to help them?
I think as we are standing now, what we are seeing is there's a lot of people who are really, really trying to create solutions from different angles, from different places. what is really missing now is bringing these people together, bringing the stakeholders to one table in a way that instead of duplicating efforts, Annabahati is here doing something small, and how about, and I know that is one of my friends told me that is utopic thinking, but I believe that there's a way we can bring together resources, we can bring together experiences, we can bring together the facilities that we already have to serve them better. And this, I think from our end, that's what we have really been trying to do. We know that as Women Creating Wealth program, as a program, we might not be able to give them this. So we look for a partner who is doing it. We know that a certain partner can come in and give them technical support that we cannot give them as a core team. That's why we have technical coaches supporting the entrepreneurs. So it's all about making sure that, one, we have to know who are the stakeholders on the ground, and who we need to bring in as stakeholders, who are supposed to be playing a role, and making sure that we are leveraging what we already have as stakeholders. And I feel like by doing that, we'll serve the entrepreneurs better. And this comes from, private institutions, from companies, organizations. You are doing a lot. You have a better understanding of data. You have a better understanding of women spending behaviors. And this is what you can actually help me, someone who is offering training, to be able to give them what they actually need, because you have better insight. So it's things like that. Someone who is lending money, you also are in a position to support them to make sure that they are making informed decisions when it comes to women businesses. So I think the biggest thing that we need to do is to make sure that all the stakeholders are on board. We are speaking the same language, and I really like that Vision 2050 has truly gone into all the areas that women, not just women entrepreneurs, women economic advancement need to be addressed from. But then the challenge now is bringing all the stakeholders on board and making sure that we are collaborating, we are co-creating solutions, we are working towards the same goal. I think there's a Swahili saying that say, tunajenga nyumba moja, kwa nini tugombane matofali au fito? So I think that's what is happening in most cases right now.
Interesting. So we need to cooperate, co-create,
Yes.
know exactly where they are.
The solutions are there. There's some people who are already doing amazing solutions. Instead of going and create and try to create a new one, why don't we, amplify the solution that is already working and things like that.
Good. Thank you. So I think we've understood sort of challenges that they're facing, which I believe a lot of them are, from the environmental, how the economy is set up. What are some of the mistakes that they themselves as women entrepreneurs are doing that you think we need to also look at and then help them solve the issues?
I think, and this comes from the last session we had with women entrepreneurs. One of them is there's a lot of conversations that there are so many opportunities for women entrepreneurs. So they want to be part of every opportunity. So at the end of the day, they are suffering from what I call time poverty. Women entrepreneurs have time poverty. And this starts from how they manage their own time as individuals, how they show up for other people, how they show up when they're invited to anything. The issue of time management truly is something that is their own doing. Yes, there's a huge challenge, because if you want your business to be respected, how you show up as a business owner means a lot. And the first thing I think most people judge you for is whether you show up late or on time or early. So that one thing, I think it's the entrepreneurs, just to be sure that they are actually thinking of how their time is effectively being used, and putting value to their time, knowing that 1 hour means this much to me. And once they do that, they will be able to say, okay, I am not being part of this or that or this. I will not put my money in this and that and this. I will not borrow from this one and that one and that one, because that's another big issue that we are struggling with, the way women are raising funds for their businesses. Some of them are truly frustrating their businesses, their families, and mostly themselves as business owners. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm hearing it correct, it's something around specializing on a few things. So, selecting a certain niche of customers or the product, and then concentrate there rather than trying to do everything. Is that correct?
It's just how it's even beyond. It's not just about the business. It's about how an individual manages time. When we start the program, we always start with personal mastery and leadership. And one of the things we insist on is how you manage yourself as an individual. Now, when you value your time as an individual, you won't give it to everything and anything, and just anyone who calls you that there's an opportunity here and there, because now you are more intentional. You know what you want to achieve, so you will give that time to the things that you want to achieve. So there's that one. But again, I hear you about the putting their egg. In Tanzania, we always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So diversification is still an important thing to do. But again, there's a way of doing it in a way that doesn't harm your business. Sometimes what we see from entrepreneurs, and I think that's another mistake, some of them take from the golden goose to feed their passions and things like that. And I heard that this business pays, they haven't done any research, they are not sure, they are not experienced. They take money from that business that is making them profit to put in that one. And we have had experiences with entrepreneurs. You ask them, why have you opened a new business while this one is still, yes, and why are you taking money from the business that is paying to put in a business that is not paying you for more than 7 or 10 years just because it's a passion project? So these are other mistakes that women do. But another thing is not being mindful about the ownership of their businesses. We have had cases where women think they are owners of their businesses because they are doing the running arounds. But especially when they're doing the businesses with their partners, with their brothers, when a partner passed, that's when you realize, oh, I wasn't an owner in that business. I'm not a shareholder. I was just doing the errands. And then they get kicked out from businesses they have built from scratch. So information, being able to keep documentation, being able to understand the ins and outs of your business from the ownership place is also something that most women, and I don't think they do it knowingly, no, but they just happen not to grasp the whole idea of what business ownership is, and it costs them a lot. So many of them have lost their businesses. So many of them have beautiful products in the market that are not protected. They're not registered, and someone else comes in and just take in their businesses just like that. So that is something that women need to take seriously.
That's exactly. So I am very tempted to ask, what are we doing to support them? But I know those are the areas that, what you're doing today is exactly that, from consulting on the issues that we've discussed to knowledges and training. What are some of the programs that you have, that you are running? Some of our listeners can hear today the frequency of them happening and all that.
So our program is intense. So, and I know most people always go for the big numbers, but the way we do our program, it can take up to 10 months. When we do have a call for application and the women come in, we do screening. We already want to see that we are not doing ideation. It has to be a business that is running. And because we understand that most women businesses, they don't go above 5 years. So we try to make sure that if you have been from 2 years, we take you to be able to survive, to sustain your business beyond that. And when you come in, you start learning online. And I'll tell you why. The program started in 2016. It was physical meetups, and then COVID happened. People could not meet. That's when I think everyone was started thinking, oh, we have to digitize our program. So we did digitize our program. So with this program that we are running now, we call it intergenerational, because of the youthfulness that we want to bring in the program as well. The one that we are doing in partnership with MasterCard is an online program. But the way we do it, we have peer-to-peer sessions that are conversation discussions. We have master mentors who are supporting women entrepreneurs. And for you to be a master mentor, you must be someone who have gone through the program as well, someone who is also a business person, so that you're actually teaching them from experience. You're also sharing your own experience. And then once you are done with the online part, then you go to technical coaching. Now, this is when we bring a technical coach, an expert, someone who understands women businesses, and all our technical coaches are someone who are renowned business coaches that have been working with entrepreneurs for years, that have been working with financial institutions. They understand the nuances, and when they come into your business, they come to help you to fix the loopholes. So once you are done with the online training that is on business readiness, market readiness, financial readiness, then you get a business coach. But of course, we don't just do that. We have other programs that are supporting that. We do business clinics. We do master classes with partnership with others like Stanbic Incubator. We have been partnering with them for a while now. We make sure that we also support women entrepreneurs to showcase their businesses. We give them opportunities to exhibit in trade fairs. We also work with them to make sure that they're becoming advocates themselves of their businesses. So we also make sure that we are finding opportunities for them to go and speak about their businesses, but also to speak about the challenges that women are facing, but also the kind of opportunities they see and the solutions they can provide. And then, of course, we also do, like, I really liked, we did a Job Creators Challenge. We also did a Jump Starters Challenge. And what I loved about the Jump Starters Challenge, we told, you have a business already. We want you to innovate within your business. Don't go outside, just innovate within your business. And we got really interesting businesses, like one entrepreneur who is already in the clean energy sector, innovated by creating something she calls a heatless stove. And it's very interesting. It's an interesting concept. And by the time she was coming to pitch her business, she had already sold a few of those. And then we had an entrepreneur who does she does tailoring, and she decided, instead of throwing those small fabrics away, now she's using them to make dolls and toys for kids and things like that. So we just try to tell them that look within your business and see what you can improve, what you can make it. So, and then we partner with so many other stakeholders to make sure that again, I can walk up to this, and you can actually help me to walk to that place. So that's what we've been doing.
Very, very interesting. And I'm going to take it from exactly where you have ended with in the topic of partnerships. Yes. Spoken about it from, us, I would say, with service providers or supporters of SMEs and women entrepreneurs. But how important is partnerships to women led businesses or women entrepreneurs? How important is the element of partnering?
Okay, so for an organization like ourselves, it's very important because we are speaking about access to finance, we are speaking about access to market, we are speaking about policies. All these areas have players that have been there, and there are players who are actually have the authority to fix some of these issues. So that's when we always approach these players. We always approach those who have been vested with the powers, especially when it comes to policies. You have to speak to the government. You have to speak to the people who have the ability to move that ship even an inch. And it has been very rewarding, because even some of the things that we thought were very hard are now happening. I will give you a good example. We had been speaking with one of the banks for a very long time about inclusive financing, and having products that actually speaks to women needs, aspirations, and take into account women experiences. And now looking at not just loans but also blended financing, which was not a traditional way of lending, especially from banks. And one of our entrepreneurs was given a blended finance from a bank, which we could have not achieved if we didn't have all these conversations. So it's very important, because I believe every stakeholder has a role to play, and every stakeholder understands the nuances of the area they are working with. Most of the time when you are seated here, it's easier to say, oh, he's not doing the right thing or she's not doing the right thing, because you don't really have the understanding. So it's very important to bring them on board so that you have the same understanding, and also co-create solutions that actually serves the women entrepreneurs that you are both serving.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's very good. And what would be the areas of opportunity for women entrepreneur, women-led businesses? If I am, somewhere sitting today, I want to start something, what would be the first thing for me to look at, looking at opportunities?
I always ask the women entrepreneurs, what do your customers want? Who do you want to save? Who are you going to provide this service for? Because what most people do is, I see someone is doing a business, I'm going to do it too. What are the reasons? It has money. Do you know the ins and outs of that business? No. So one of the things we always tell entrepreneurs is to really take time to understand the markets they're trying to serve, and understand what are the pinpoints that you can also come in and try to solve. Because again, any business to thrive, it should be addressing a problem. It should be fixing something in the community. And we don't want entrepreneurs to just go and start businesses just for the sake of it. We want them to start businesses that are needed, businesses that are solving community problems, business that have room to scale and to be sustainable.
Okay. So we're going to play a little bit of games, kiddo, to ease it up.
Thank you.
So if you can pick two.
Okay. So this artist is known as the Queen of Afrobeat. Tiwa Savage, Yemi Alade, Thames, Ayasta.
I am a little bit old school, so I'll go for Tiwa Savage. That's old school for Gen Zs, by the way. So yeah, so
I think it's Yemi.
I think it's Yemi. Why? Yeah. Because she sang Swahili.
I think so, yeah. Tanzania. Is she the one who Tanzania to Kenya?
Yeah. No, but I think she interpreted one song in Swahili. Something about Mungu. Yeah, something like that. But, okay. But I think Tiwa gave us some very, very good. A few collabo with Wizkid. Some of my favorite songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one describes you best in a group project? The leader, the finisher, the ideas person, the cheerleader?
Interesting. Depends on the day. Many times actually, I think the leader.
Okay.
I don't know why, but many times in a setup of many people, even if we haven't all spoken, if we asked, get someone to lead you, they'll say you're the chairman. I don't know why, but on some days a cheerleader. I think because I speak a lot, so sometimes I am that guy to ensure everyone
and sometimes you are full of ideas.
I'll let other people that I work with say that.
Okay. Thank you.
Interesting. Okay, so a question from me: who was the former global CEO of Pepsi and one of the most powerful women in business?
PepsiCo.
PepsiCo, yes. And one of the most powerful women in business.
No.
Oprah Winfrey,
No.
Indra Nooyi.
Yes.
Indra Nooyi?
Yes.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, correct.
What are the rest? What are the remaining names?
Mary Barra
Uh-huh.
and Sherry Sandberg.
Okay. It's Indra.
It's Linda. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so thank you for playing the game. I think this was fun. So we continue with our conversation. A lot of things around women, businesses, leadership. Now, my next question is, why do you think it is important to? Yeah. So, why do you think women economic empowerment is very important? One, in the society, but also in creating women leaders or leadership for women.
Okay, thank you. I think from a very young age, I've been surrounded by women who are doing something to earn an income, and it inspired me because I also saw what that income was doing to the families, how they were contributing to the well-being of the children, education, health, and things like that. But when it comes to the link between women economic advancement and women in leadership, came out very loud when I was part of the team that was delivering the Female Future program for women parliamentarians and women in the House of Representatives in Zanzibar, because one of the biggest challenges that kept coming up in the sessions was economic power for women to pursue political leadership. And then again, it's in so many other leadership areas. Political leadership also required you to be able to finance yourself, your campaigns, being invited to certain rooms. And I remember one parliamentarian was very specific. She said, I wish there were a lot of rich women who can back up our campaigns, who can support us financially so that we can be able to avoid some of the challenges we are facing, such as harassment, violence, and things like that. And then, of course, I came to listen to our founders speaking about her own journey and how she also came to realize that because she was in fighting for freedom, political participation of women, and then she realized, there's the economic advancement, but that if it's not fixed, then the equation is not complete. So that really inspired me to be working for this program, because I realized, okay, we need to put the finance power in women as well to be able to change the society. Because I think there's a Swahili saying that means a woman's money goes a long way. Not to discredit a man's money, but in a way it also affects their businesses, because when a woman's money comes into the business, sometimes they take it to go and buy shoes for their kids and fix this and that and not grow the business. Maybe one of the reasons why women businesses stay stagnant for a very long time.
Okay, so if I'm getting it very right, I think we need to now help a lot of women in businesses or entrepreneurs to improve economically, so that they can also support the society. We have spoken a bit about access to finance. What about access to markets? Do you think this is something that they're good at, or these are still areas that we can still have a discussion and see?
Access to markets, that is one of the areas we have been supporting women entrepreneurs. I think when we started, one of the things they said is we cannot access the government tenders, even though we have been told that there's an allocation. So we had to go and find people from BPRI to come and train them how to access the portals and the portal, and how to submit their bid for tenders and things like that. But just this weekend, I was in Zanzibar for TWCC, Tanzania Women Chamber of Commerce event that was on how to support women and youth to access opportunities in the tourism sector. And I like the conversation that was coming out on the kind of solutions that can be provided, speaking about how do the laws and policies in a way make the market receive the women in their products, such as saying, okay, if it's a supermarket, can there be a certain provision and maybe incentives if they sell 30% of local products and maybe products from women and youth. And this is one of the biggest policy issue that I wish could be fixed, streamlining access to market policies, because there are so many of them sitting at different places. And now for Tanzanian women, there's a lot of conversation about SFTA, there's a lot of conversation about public procurement, but how do we streamline access to market policies, not just the national ones, but to speak also to the regional level and global level in a way that access to market is not so bureaucratic, is not so far out of reach for women, is not so disintegrated. It does not create room for people to be asked for, to offer corruption of any sort and things like that. So yes, there's a huge need to streamline the policies around access to market. Of course, we still have to continue building capacities of women to make sure that their businesses are meeting the standards that are needed in the market, to make sure that they have the information that is needed for them to access these markets, to make sure that they understand the laws and regulations that are guiding these markets and things like that. But yes, we have tried so much to make sure that some of these markets are accessed, as I said, like what the government is doing with the making sure that you leave a certain percent for women to access, which they are not actually uptaking all of it as we speak, because there are still all these other issues that needs to be fixed. So yes, let's streamline the access to market policies, not just in country, but also across the continent.
Good. So I know we're speaking a lot about women entrepreneurship and business, but they have to compete in a market.
Yes.
A market that has, everyone else, the big, the small. So I believe innovation is very important.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge misconception about innovation, where we only think innovation is technology. I love technology, and we'll talk a lot more about technology later. But what else does innovation mean to women entrepreneurs and their businesses?
So to women entrepreneurs, innovation is not always about technology. Yes, we have businesses that we advise them to make sure that they're embracing technology because of the nature of their businesses. And because we know that when you can embrace technology in the right way, it can actually 10x your business and things like that. It can open access to market, to finance, to everything. But for the women entrepreneurs we work with, innovation to them means something like fixing the process that they do, adding value to the product that they already have, changing some of the traditional ways of doing things to make sure that it appeals to the current market. For instance, we have an entrepreneur who she was selling CMOS, but she realized people don't like the smell of it. So now she has innovated. She's selling pills, CMOS pills. We have another one who is selling, some people don't like honey because of just the way it smells. So she has made flavored honey. We have another one in Mbeya, and she's an older woman. I love that one. She sells eggs, and to increase the shelf life of her eggs, she decided to make egg powder. So she's selling egg powder. So for women entrepreneurs, it's beyond incorporating technology. It's also seeing how can I get how can I make my product more appealing, whether it's by, innovating on how they package their products, and things like that. So it's beyond technology for women entrepreneurs.
Good. And how is it important for them to work together? Because I think another thing that we're hearing a lot from people who are doing businesses is also a sense of wanting to do everything yourself for your business. So at what point, or how is it important for them to start scaling and involving other people into their ideas and that?
So for us, the one thing we are really trying to do is building a community. And once a woman joins the program, they become part of that community. Even after they're done with the program, it doesn't end. And the beauty of it has been, let's say, the women entrepreneurs who joined us this year are being master mentored by entrepreneurs who were in the program in 2016, because we have that connection. We are building a community. And we have seen beautiful things happening in the community. Someone wanting a business partner, getting them from the community. They are selling to each other, they are sharing opportunities. So it's also having the right frameworks and the right platform to engage women in a place where they feel safer, they feel like they can, because another thing, in Tanzania, most people do business in the form of trust. So it's building trust. You start by building trust, and then women are transacting. They are selling from each other, they're getting businesses from each other, they're connecting each other to markets, they are sharing how they have access to finance and things like that. So there's a lot of things that are moving among the community and within the community that are actually supporting their businesses. You always wake up and someone is asking you questions like, oh, how do I, and sometimes we think it's a big question, but someone might be even asking, how do I access YAS services on this one? And someone answers. Yeah. Or how do I pay for my Instagram ads? Someone say, I know how to do it, or I know who can do it. So that is something we also nurture. So we have a business community that is growing day by day because we keep getting new entrepreneurs coming in.
Yeah, no, very good. And I love what we've just said about creating a community. And we will love to work with you in the community and do a lot. And speaking about community, so a lot of our listeners and people who are watching us right now, Generation Yes, they also know that we have a very big community for SME. We're calling it Mjasiriamali Box. So this is I'll say a lifestyle for SMEs, where we're providing them end-to-end solutions for them to, I'll say, digitize and make their operations a lot more efficient. So think about a place where you can get everything that you need, from SIM cards that you can communicate with your employees and other businesses, to internet in your office, to an access to send messages to many of your customers, to loans from Mixed by Yes, to some different portals where you can use them as the point of sales, recording your transactions and everything, to just formalize it, so that when it's a time, for example, to get an access to finance, we already have some of your information in terms of how you put it. And then also access to a lot of things, for example, the trainings that we've been talking about. Access to exhibit their solutions to a lot of things that Yes as a company is doing. So I just wanted to mention that, not to brag, but also I think it's very good.
I think we are going to have a conversation after this, because I think most of them need such solutions, but in a way that is also costing them an arm and a leg. And when they can find them in a way that is more organized, then we believe that the entrepreneurs are better served. So yes, we'll have a conversation definitely to see how we can reach more entrepreneurs.
Okay, so we get into the very end part. So I have two more questions, then we'll play the last game. So my first question will be, what are some of the leadership traits that you think are very important for women leaders or any other leaders out there?
So there are so many of them, but I think for you to be a leader, one is to have humility, and not just humility that comes together with being humane, being able to understand people, but also I think integrity. Do what you said you'll do, even when people are not watching. It's very important to be able to be someone who can make decisions, especially if you're a business leader in this time where things are changing every day. You cannot afford not to be able to make decisions. You also have to have emotional intelligence, because you are dealing with people from different generations. We hear a lot about Gen Zs, but I think it's not just Gen Zs. You have to have people skills to deal with people from different generations, and understanding that people are dealing with different issues at the same time. So emotional intelligence is important. Another thing I think is important for a woman leader is communication skills. I think we really need to be able to communicate in anything. Communicate with your stakeholders, which can be from your employees, can be your customers, can be your suppliers. You really have to be able to manage stakeholders, which communication sits at the center of it.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I'm not going to add anything on top of
yeah.
that. So the last question before we play the game would be, what is one book that you recommend everyone watching us to read, and why?
So, that's a tricky question, because I love books, and I don't know if I can recommend one, but because we are speaking about leadership and personal mastery, I think Atomic Habits by James Clear is an important book for people, especially when you want to change something you have been doing for so long, or when you want to start a new habit because you realize I need to be able to be this person, and I want to be able to accomplish this thing. So I think it's a good book, because it also gives you like a step-by-step guide on how you can achieve that. And it's only one, right?
Yeah.
So because I can recommend books for days.
Thank you. So today Atomic Habits is
yes, let's just go with Atomic Habits because of what it represents.
Thank you. So if you can pick a question.
Yeah.
I will pick one as well. You want to start?
This one I have already said that one. Yes.
Okay, good. You want to start, or I can start?
You can start.
Okay. The Great Wall is found in which country?
China.
Yeah, okay.
Is it there?
It
China.
is.
Okay, this one. What is the biggest lie in corporate life? A. Hope this email finds you well.
I hope they're better. So this is a good one.
Sometimes I wish I could say, I hope this email finds you before I do. Just 30 minutes meeting. Consider it done.
Only those three?
Yes. There are more lies.
I think from there, hope this email find you well is the biggest one. Yeah. But I think well noted is like one.
Yeah, it's
right
not
there.
here, but people will not even read and say well noted.
Exactly. So well noted is
I am happy too.
Annabahati, thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
You enjoyed it. Yeah.
I have.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen of our generation, yes, that was it for today. I hope you have learned something from our conversation today. And yeah, until we meet next time, anzia ulipo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.